Despite reports of its demise, the revolution led by Fidel Castro is celebrating its 50th anniversary this week.
The revolution is about the future. The revolution is about achieving new goals. It's about changing. It's about transforming reality. So the revolution is alive as long as Cubans are alive and willing to change.
But there is a generational difference in how Cubans see the revolution, says Maggie, Alarcon, a translator and daughter of Cuban Parliament President Ricardo Alarcon.
And I think, again, that has to do with the fact that most Cubans take for granted, my generation and younger than me, are taking for granted the fact that they do have the health care, that they do have the education, and that good, right, or wrong, they've got a roof. Granted, most of them have the roof that they live under with their parents, with their grandparents, with an aunt and an uncle, with their brother. But it's a roof. You've got North Americans that are wondering if they're going to ever have a roof again at this point.
Making it easier for people to travel abroad could correct this view, says sociologist Rafael Hernandez.
I think that there's no better education, political education, than to travel. To travel abroad and return, and travel again and return. Every time I meet a young person in Cuba that traveled a few times outside of Cuba, they understand better this country.
Cuban-American Nelson Valdes was sent by his family to the United States in 1961 when he was just 15. It was 16 years before he saw his country again. Now a professor at the University of New Mexico, Valdes visits Cuba frequently.
To me, the question is, what would have happened if the U.S. would have accepted the revolution? Where would Cuba be today? And could the U.S. at this point, in fact, be willing to normalize relations, and what might be the consequences for both countries if that were to occur?
But many Cuban analysts are taking a wait-and-see attitude.
We have had democratic presidents before and nothing happened. Nothing substantial happened. Today we have a Cuba that is more connected with the rest of the world than ever in the last half a century. We have more relation with Latin America and the Caribbean. We have more relation with Canada, with the European Union. We have more relation with Africa and Asia and other countries, including Russia and China. Cuba is less isolated than ever. And then U.S.-Cuban relation is an exception.
The larger-than-life personality missing from the 50th anniversary celebrations is Fidel Castro, sidelined by illness more than 2 years ago.
If you look at, in terms of Mao and so forth, who could have imagined that there would have been a China without Mao, or Korea without Kim Il-sung, and so forth? What is unique in the Cuban case, what no one ever imagined, was the scenario in which Fidel Castro will remain alive but will no longer be in control of the Cuban government and the Cuban state. So the role that he plays is sort of like in a family, the grandfather is still around, you listen to what he has to say, and you might or might not do it.
The revolution has lasted for 5 decades, outliving 10 U.S. administrations. It has defied prediction of its collapse countless times. Now it remains to be seen how Cuba might change if confronted with a less overtly hostile Washington, and whether or not Raúl Castro can meet the aspirations and dreams of the Cuban people. Portia Siegelbaum, reporting for CBS News from Havana, Cuba.